Night falls and you realize something's wrong. You haven't seen your feline around the house for hours. You call his name in that loving tone that always works. Whiskers, come here, kitty. But only silence responds. You walk to the kitchen. The food remains untouched in the bowl, exactly as you left it this morning. His favorite plush toy is there in the corner, abandoned. Your footsteps echo through the empty house as you search every nook and cranny. Under the bed, behind the sofa, inside the closet. Nothing. It's at this moment that your heart starts racing, and that cold sensation takes over your chest. Your mind races. Did he get out? How? The door was closed. Or wasn't it? And then begin the questions every cat owner has asked themselves at least once in their lifetime. Will he be able to come back? Is he hurt? What if someone took him? What if he's lost? If this situation has happened to you, or if you're afraid it might happen, take a deep breath. You're in the right place. Today we're going to dive deep into the mysteries of the feline mind to understand why our four-legged companions sometimes decide to leave, and more importantly, how to make sure they never want to leave home. Because the truth is that when a cat runs away, it's not always by chance. There's almost always a reason behind it. And discovering that reason can be the difference between having your friend always nearby, or living with a heavy heart, waiting for a return that may never happen. Let's start with the truth that might hurt a little. It's not always your cat's wild instinct to blame. Often, the problem is right under your nose inside your own home, and you don't even notice it. Think with me. How is the environment where your cat lives? Because for them, home isn't just a place to eat and sleep. It's their territory, their kingdom where they feel safe and in control. Any alteration to this balance can turn their world upside down. Constant changes are the first major villain. You know when you decide to reorganize the living room and move the sofa. For us, it's just a decoration change. For the cat, it's as if someone had moved the fundamental pieces of their universe. They are creatures of extreme habit. That armchair, where he used to stretch in the sun, is now in another corner. And that's enough to generate anxiety. Even worse when new people arrive at home. I'm not just talking about permanent changes. Even frequent visits can destabilize a more sensitive feline. Each person brings different smells, different energy, and alters the dynamics he knows. If your house has become a train station with people coming and going all the time, you can be sure your cat is noticing every detail. The second point is lack of attention, and this one is especially painful. Cats may seem independent, but they create deep bonds with us. If he spends 8, 10 hours alone every day without interaction, without play, without even a caress, it's natural that he starts looking for affection elsewhere. Remember when you used to come home, and he would run to you, making that loud purr? When was the last time that happened? If you can't remember, it might be a warning sign. Cats that feel emotionally neglected start looking for alternatives. And sometimes that alternative is at the neighbor's house, who always leaves a bowl of food on the porch. Hygiene is another crucial factor that many owners underestimate. A dirty litter box isn't just uncomfortable, it's an offense to the cleanliness standards that are programmed into feline DNA. If the box smells strong, if the litter isn't changed regularly, or if it's positioned in a very busy area of the house, your cat might simply decide that environment no longer meets his basic needs. And it's not just the litter box. Water and food bowls also need to be always clean. Cats have a much sharper sense of smell than ours. That water that seems normal to you might taste strange to him. That food bowl you haven't washed in days might be impregnated with smells that bother him. Lastly, but not least important, the chaotic environment. If your house is constant chaos, loud television, music at maximum volume, children running and screaming, frequent arguments, your cat is living in a permanent state of alert. They need moments of peace, silence, tranquility. When they don't find that at home, they'll look for it elsewhere. Now, let's talk about something fascinating. Even after thousands of years of domestication, your cat carries within him the soul of a wild predator. It's as if he were a small lion living in your living room. And sometimes these primitive instincts speak louder than all domestic comfort. Feline curiosity is legendary for a reason. That saying curiosity killed the cat didn't come from nowhere. They are natural explorers, compulsive investigators. A strange noise coming from the yard, a new smell entering through the window, the movement of a leaf on the other side of the fence. All of this awakens in them an almost irresistible need to investigate. Imagine the scene. Your cat is resting peacefully when he hears a sound he's never heard before. His entire nervous system goes into alert mode. His ears move like satellite dishes trying to locate the sound's origin. His body tenses, ready for action. And if at that moment he finds an open door, a window without a screen, or any gap, adventure calls stronger than home security. For unneutered cats, there's an even more powerful calling, reproductive instinct. When a female cat goes into heat within a radius of kilometers, all the males in the region feel it. It's as if an irresistible signal were transmitted through the air. At that moment, it doesn't matter if he has the best food in the world, the softest bed, or the most loving owner. Biological instinct takes control, and he can travel enormous distances in search of a partner. And females aren't far behind. During heat periods, they can become restless, vocalize more, and even try to escape to find a mate. It's completely natural behavior, but one that can result in dangerous escapes. The hunting instinct is another powerful factor. Your cat might be well fed, but when he sees a flying insect, a bird at the window, or even a leaf moving in the wind, the predator within him awakens. The chase starts as play, but can lead him farther and farther from home. Have you ever witnessed your cat become completely hypnotized watching something you can't even see? They detect tiny movements, almost imperceptible sounds. A simple fly can transform into an epic hunt that takes him far from the safety zone. And then we have the territorial issue. Cats are extremely territorial, and this includes the space around your house. If another feline appears marking territory in your yard, leaving scents and signs, your cat might feel challenged. It's as if someone had invaded his property and left a message, "I was here." The natural response is to go out to defend the territory, remark the boundaries, and show who's in charge of that area. This silent dispute can extend for days, with cats meeting at specific times, staring at each other, chasing each other, and during these territorial negotiations, your cat might end up wandering much farther than he should. Here we come to a delicate but necessary part. Sometimes, without realizing it, our own attitudes might be pushing our cat away. These are well-intentioned mistakes, gestures we make thinking we're educating or caring, but that are actually breaking the trust he has in us. The first mistake is trying to educate at the wrong time. Typical scenario: you come home and find the plant pot broken on the floor. Your cat is sleeping peacefully on the sofa. You pick him up, take him to the pot, and start scolding. "Look what you did. You can't do this." The problem is that for the cat, that happened hours ago. In his mind, there's no connection between the broken pot and the scolding he's receiving now. He only understands that suddenly you became angry with him for no apparent reason. This generates confusion, fear, and can make him start avoiding you. Cats learn by immediate association. If you didn't catch him in the act, it's too late. Any correction after the fact becomes just a source of stress and misunderstanding. Forcing physical limits is another serious mistake. Never, ever force your cat to smell something he did wrong, or try to push him toward the litter box. These attitudes, besides being ineffective, are extremely stressful for them. Cats hate being forced to do anything. It's as if you were saying, "You have no choice. I'm in charge here." This completely breaks the trust relationship. Another common example: your cat scratched the sofa, and you decide to pick him up and take him to the scratching post, forcing his paws to scratch in the right place. In his head, you're being aggressive and controlling. The result: he'll avoid both the scratching post and you. The traumatic carrier box is a classic. If your cat only sees a plastic box when going to the vet, which usually isn't a pleasant experience for him, it's obvious he'll create total aversion to the object. Over time, just seeing you opening the closet where the box is stored, he's already running away. The solution is to leave the box always available, with a soft blanket inside. Maybe put some treats there from time to time. Transform the box into just another cozy corner of the house, not into a symbol of bad things to come. Interrupting sacred moments is another serious mistake. Cats have their well-defined rituals: sleep time, meal time, personal hygiene time. If you constantly interrupt these moments, waking him up to pet him, messing with the food bowl while he eats, or disturbing him while he's cleaning himself, you're disrespecting his basic needs. Imagine if someone woke you up every time you were in deep sleep, or kept messing with your plate while you tried to eat in peace. That's exactly how your cat feels. And when he can't have these peaceful moments at home, he might start looking for other places where he can rest without being bothered. Excessive stimulation can also be harmful. Some owners, with the best intentions, bombard the cat with constant attention, play all the time, excessive petting. Cats need interaction, yes, but they also need personal space. They're sociable, but they're not dogs. They need moments to process experiences, to relax alone. If you're always hovering over him, trying to interact all the time, you might be causing stress instead of showing love. Respecting your cat's personal space is one of the greatest demonstrations of affection you can offer. Now, let's talk about the signs your cat might be sending before even making the decision to run away. Because this decision is rarely sudden, there's usually a process, a series of behavioral changes that, if identified in time, can prevent the worst. The first sign is gradual distancing. Your cat was always clingy and suddenly started hiding. He who always slept in your bed now prefers to stay under the wardrobe. This isolation isn't just fussiness, it's an important communication. Cats withdraw when something is wrong. It could be physical pain, emotional discomfort, or simply the feeling that that environment is no longer safe for them. Pay attention. Does he still come to eat normally? Does he still use the litter box? Does he still respond when you call? If the answers are changing, it's time to investigate. Changes in eating habits are another red alert. A cat who was always a good eater and suddenly lost interest in food might be sick, but he might also be stressed or depressed. On the other side of the coin, some stressed cats start eating compulsively as a way to deal with anxiety. Observe not just how much he's eating, but how he eats. Did he used to eat calmly and now devours everything quickly, as if afraid someone would steal it? Or does he eat a little and leave, returning several times to the bowl? These subtle changes can indicate he's not feeling safe even at mealtime. Changes in sleep patterns also deserve attention. Cats sleep a lot, that's normal. But if yours was always active during certain hours of the day, and now only wants to sleep, or if he who always slept soundly now lives in a state of alert, waking up at any noise, this can indicate stress or illness. Excessive vocalization or, conversely, total silence. Some stressed cats become very talkative, meowing constantly as if trying to tell us something important. Others do the opposite. They become completely silent, as if they had given up trying to communicate with us. If your cat was always communicative and suddenly went mute, or if he was never much of a meower and now won't stop vocalizing, pay attention. He might be trying to tell you something's not right. Compulsive behaviors are clear signs of stress. Licking excessively until creating wounds, scratching always the same spot until getting hurt, or walking in circles repeatedly. These are behaviors that indicate severe anxiety and a sign many owners don't notice: changes in the relationship with territory. If your cat started marking territory inside the house, urinating in inappropriate places, he might be feeling insecure in his own space. It's as if you were trying to reaffirm, this place is mine, because something made him question that. Most importantly, sudden changes in interest in the outside world. If your cat was always homebody and suddenly is fascinated by the window, or if he started standing by the door every time someone enters or leaves, he might be considering an adventure. Some cats even test the exits. They position themselves strategically near the door. Observe your movements as if planning an escape. If you notice this behavior, it's time to double your attention and investigate what might be motivating this sudden curiosity about the world outside. This is probably the question that weighs heaviest on the heart of anyone going through this. Will my cat be able to come back? The answer isn't simple, but it's important you understand how a lost cat's mind works. Yes, some manage to return, and in surprising ways. Cats have navigation abilities that science is still trying to understand completely. They use a combination of senses we can't even imagine. Smell is the main one. They follow scent trails they left along the way, identify familiar odors in the air, and can detect the smell of home at impressive distances. Researchers discover that cats also orient themselves by visual landmarks: that specific tree, the shape of a building, the color of a gate. They create very detailed mental maps of their territory. Some studies suggest they might even use Earth's magnetic field as a kind of natural GPS, just like some migratory birds do. But here comes a difficult part: this isn't a guarantee. The ability to return depends on many factors: the distance he wandered, the time spent outside, whether he managed to stay healthy and safe during the absence, whether he didn't get lost in completely unknown territory. Urban cats face even greater challenges: traffic, intense city noises, pollution that interferes with smell, the presence of other animals. All of this can disorient a feline who isn't used to the external environment. There's also the psychological factor. A cat who left because he was stressed or unhappy at home might simply decide not to return, even if he knows the way. If he found a place where he feels safer and better cared for, he might establish this new location as his home. Time is crucial. The more time passes, the smaller the chances of spontaneous return. In the first days, the cat is still connected to his original territory. After a week, he might start adapting to the new environment. After a few weeks, he might have established a new routine and new reference points. But there are also incredible reunion stories. Cats who returned after months, who traveled miles to find their family, who appeared at the door as if nothing had happened. Each case is unique, and that's why we should never completely lose hope if your cat escaped. The best strategy is active searching, posters in the neighborhood, contact with veterinarians and pet shops in the region, social media groups dedicated to lost animals, and mainly, going out to search at the times he used to be most active. We've reached the end of our conversation, and I hope you now have a much clearer vision of your cat's mental universe. The truth is simple but profound. Cats run away when they don't find a home. What's essential for them? Security, comfort, respect, and yes, love. They don't need much to be happy. They don't need expensive toys, sophisticated beds, or imported food. What they need is to feel that space is truly theirs, that they're respected in their basic needs, and that they're part of a family that understands them. If your cat feels that your house is his safe harbor, he simply won't want to leave. Why would he leave? Outside is dangerous, unpredictable, full of threats. If at home he has everything he needs, not just food and shelter, but also emotional security, there's no reason for risky adventures. But if the domestic environment becomes a source of stress, if he doesn't feel safe, respected, or loved, then escape becomes an attractive option. It's the search for a better place, for a more peaceful life, for people who understand him better. Therefore, more than filling the food bowl and cleaning the litter box, although that's also fundamental, offer presence, attention, genuine affection, learn his language, respect rest moments, create predictable routines, keep the environment calm and welcoming, observe the signs he sends. Cats are masters of nonverbal communication, but we're the ones who need to learn to listen with our eyes. That subtle change in behavior, that new habit that appeared out of nowhere, that different corner where he started hiding, all of this are important messages. Your cat isn't just a pet that lives in your house. He's a family member with his own personality, specific needs, complex feelings. When we treat our felines with this understanding and respect, we create a bond so strong that the idea of running away simply doesn't make sense to them. And remember, prevention will always be better than cure. It's much easier to keep your cat happy at home than having to go out looking for him on the streets. Invest time in understanding your companion, in creating an environment where he truly feels at home, and you'll have a loyal friend for many, many years. If you made it this far, it's because you really care about your feline's well-being. And that's already half the way to having a happy, safe cat who's always nearby.